America is football. Football is America.
Football is America. If you don't like it, you can kiss your candy ass.
It's a moment in time. I don't give a damn.
Oh my God! No!
You loved it.
It's 30 to 27. Chiefs win. Chiefs win 30 to 20.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night Football, 2nd and 4 for the Dolphins on their opening drive. And it's a handoff to Achane, who's going to hit the hole and take it pretty far. And I'm going to give you a little backstory on this Achane deal because there is a lot on the line tonight. The Dolphins and Steelers have both possessed the ball. And, man, Achane questionable going into this week with a rib injury. And looks good so far. To a middle of the field waddle for a first down, and the Dolphins are moving down the field. I expected that this game would be a really tough game for the Steelers, and the Dolphins are playing for their season. And, you know, as bad as the season started for the Dolphins, if they win today, they will have the same record as the Steelers. Ladies and gentlemen, coming into the chat, here's Tua going deep on first down. Interception. Asante Samuel. What the hell was that throw? What in the hell was that throw? That was absolutely awful. You know, they have this thing with Tua that he can't win in a game that's 40 degrees or less, and he's trying to get the stigma to go away, and it's not going to go away like that. That was just absolutely awful. And coming into the chat, we got Lily, we got Ginger, and Nick. So instead of giving you all your own introduction, I will say give it up for the 3 OGs. The 3 that will never let me stream a game and feel lonely. Give it up for our 3 OGs, Nick, Ginger, and Little E. All right. So I'm in the fantasy football playoffs, and the guy I'm playing has nobody left. I'm currently losing going into this game by 6 points with Devon Achane left to play. I'm just hoping that he doesn't re-aggravate that rib injury he's had. We got the one and only Daniel Barry Sports Highlights in the chat. What's up, Daniel Barry? Tua, turn the ball over. That's pretty good. I got to give it to you. Massive game. Let's go, Achane. I think I also had, what was it? Yeah, Achane and Warren, Jalen Warren, to each have 5 rushing yards in each quarter. And on the opening drive, we had first down was a pass, second down was a Kenneth Gainwell for no gain, and then third down was a 7-yard pass to Kenneth Gainwell. I thought we had a pass. No, we didn't. I thought Okay, so when I was watching, I thought the pass to Kenneth Gainwell was DK Metcalf. I have DK Metcalf to record 1 reception in each quarter. Aaron Rodgers and Tua Tagovailoa to have 20 passing yards in each quarter. Right now, Tua's got 29 passing yards. Check. I need Aaron Rodgers to get 11. And it's going to be a toss to Warren. There we go. The ball came out. I think he was down. Yeah, he was down. He was down. Damn. And Troy Aikman is just drilling. All right, so Warren picks up 9 yards. I love it. There we go. First quarter, check. Now I need Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball for 11 yards. Here we go. 3rd and 1. Aaron, wow, they got Hayward under center. And they're running a tush push. I don't know if he got it. I'm not sure he got that. Are they going to punt it? Analytics says go for it, and they're lining up to go for it. He got it. First down, Pittsburgh. All right. Let's see if Aaron Rodgers can throw the football. I believe he can. Look at this. Here we go. Aaron Rodgers looking to throw. He's going to toss it to Kenneth Gainwell. Gainwell is going to get hit and stopped at the line of scrimmage. What a hit. All 15 interceptions versus zone. Let's go, A-Chan. How was your visit with the family? Thanks for asking, Lil Jinja. It was awesome, but as you know, man, a little depressing today, to be honest with you guys. Just not enough time. 2nd and 10. Aaron Rodgers, yes! DK Metcalf all the way to the 50. Miami territory. So give me the 1 catch for DK Metcalf. Give me the passing yards for Aaron Rodgers, who now has 31 passing yards. Tua and Aaron Rodgers both with 20 passing yards. I got the Devon Achane, Jalen Warren, 5 rushing yards. Check. And we are cooking. Just between those 3 bets, if they all 3 come in, we're looking at about $250. So here we go. Rodgers handing it off. And Warren almost broke it. Almost took it all the way. DK Metcalf. Still riding the high from yesterday's win, to be honest with you. Yesterday's win was awesome. Too short. Here's Warren again, and oh man, there was one man, and it was Jones, and if he could have broke 3 from him, whew. What I've learned the hard way is that time is more valuable than anything. You can make all the money in the world, but can't buy our loved ones back to life. That is true. That is true. And we have a dog, and he's been a big part of our family. He's my Uncle Wolf's dog, and he passed away on Friday night, and it's been really hard. And this dog's been in my life since I was 17 years old. You know, I'm 31 now, and it's been rough, you know. And I was talking to my Uncle Wolf last night, and you know, they brought him into the ER, and they paid $5,000 to do a procedure that was going to buy him another year, and it bought him 5 days. And my uncle was saying, I would pay that much money again today for one more day. And so I say all that to say you're right. Like, when it comes to life, the most important thing is the time you spend with your loved ones. The Steelers they just went for it on 4th down and got it. One minute, 45 seconds left in the first quarter, and it's a handoff to Kenneth Gainwell, and he's going to lose a yard. Devon Achane with 3 points. I am now down. I'm now down by a little less than 3 points. The fantasy football playoffs, man. Here's a toss. That's Warren. Chop Robinson. Man. So Kenneth Gainwell already has 3 receptions, 0 rushing yards, and not having much success in the receiving game. 3rd and 11. This would be a field goal. Aaron Rodgers trying the hard count to see what they're doing. Snaps the ball. Usually DK's his guy in this situation, and sack lunch Rodgers. Sack lunch Rodgers. And that made it hard because they lose 10 yards, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. And not only did they lose 10 yards, but it makes it potentially out of field goal territory. R.I.P. Ricky. His name's Ricky, which is funny because, you know, Rick, feeling nicey. And I don't know if you've ever messed with Chisel Dons, but he's awesome, man. He lost his brother yesterday. He's still streamed because that's what his brother would have wanted. That's awesome. I've heard it. No, I'm thinking of a football player. I don't know who that is. I'll check him out. Aaron Rodgers going down taking a sack to end the first quarter. And I think that is worthy of a thumbnail update here. Here we go. I like changing the background because I feel like in a way, I'm keeping. It's like I can't show the game, but you know, it's something. It's something. This is awesome because now the start of the first quarter or the start of the second quarter is going to be the Dolphins with the ball. I think it makes it tough sometimes when, like, let's say the Steelers had the ball and they go on a long drive and then the Dolphins get the ball and they go on like a 5-6 play drive and have to punt it. And then they maybe only get the ball 1, 2 times. This kind of gives them the ball, I think, 3 possessions probably. $128 days until the NFL draft is going to be in Pittsburgh. Oh, they punted it. They ended up punting the football. There we go. So they do the punt, and then they just go to another commercial. You love to see it. All right, we're back from commercial. That's quick. Here we go. First down. Jalen Wright. Why is Jalen Wright running the ball? Colts, Bills. Look at all of his interceptions are the middle of the field. And like we saw against zone defense, that one was on, to the outside, but let's see. Is that Achane? Waller. There we go. That's a 10-yard game. Here we go. 1st and 10. Achane. There we go. 5 yards. Done. Second quarter complete. There we go. All right. Bet your field goal kicker can kick it from there. Yeah, and I don't know why they didn't give him a shot. They're going to run it with Achane again. Achane picks up 3. Third down. Achane, 4 points. I need exactly 2.8 points from Tua. That could be like a 5-yard catch. And the only reason I keep talking about this is because of his rib injury. I just hope he's not hurt. I'm going to stop talking about that. Here we go. Here we go. Tua looking. He's going to run it himself. Pick up a first down. They're going to say he was a half-yard short. Tua thought he got face masked. Tua thought there was a face mask. And here's the potential face mask. Yeah, just a hand touched the helmet, no foul. Dolphins are lining up for a punt. Would this be a fake punt? Now they take a delay a game, so they're definitely punting it. Jeez. Man. I don't understand. Why are they content? All right, here's the punt. Almost got blocked. Oh my gosh. Austin doesn't call for the fair catch and he gets popped. He got hit hard. Damn. Wow, what a hit. Ginger said, I watched about 70 Mr. Rogers AI with Macho Man and Hulk Hogan videos earlier. I was crying laughing. That's awesome. I was about to put the hurting on a big-ass bowl of trick cereal. And about their fantasy-wise, good slide, dipshit. What a pussy. Exactly. Exactly. Man, this hit was gnarly. Boom. Let me see. All right. So what did Tua have? What was it? I remember there was something. I was like, okay, so that's done. What was it? It was the running. Achane. He got the rushing yards. But I don't believe he got any passing yards. And that's what I was talking about, a 5-play drive. Passed it for 8 yards. Achane ran it for 5 yards. Achane, then he got 3 yards. Scrambles right. Yeah, and then he ran it for 1 yard. So Tua had only an 8-yard pass. 8 yards. So I need 12 more passing yards for Tua in the second quarter. 20 passing yards for Rodgers, 5 yards for Warren, and we're good. Here's going to be a pitch to Warren, and wow, there's 10. Is he going to stay on his feet? Oh, there's a flag inside the 30. It's coming back. Come on. Jonnu Smith, are you fucking kidding me? Where's the hold? That is ticky-tack. That is a ticky-tack call there. Here's Rodgers, quick throw, and that'll pick up 8 of the yards about. Here we go. Wow. Washington. Darnell Washington. Darnell Washington just picked up 10. Wow. It's amazing that Darnell Washington at that size is able to keep himself up. That's incredible. All right. So Aaron Rodgers needs about 4, 5 more yards. 3rd and 3. Here's Rodgers looking. Sack lunch. Got to be more decisive, Aaron. Got to be more aggressive. Got to get the ball out. There's someone open in the middle of the field. Now the Steelers punting it. And this is going to bounce. Bad punt. Aaron Rodgers has been sacked more than any quarterback since becoming a Steeler. Steelers just stay. I mean, I'm not even going to blame that on the offensive line. Like, I'm looking at this play, and I'm like, Rodgers has got to get the ball out of his hands. There's a reason Bo Nix didn't take a single sack against the Packers. And it wasn't because there was no pass rush with Micah Parsons and Gary and Quay Walker. These boys were all over. It's just being instinctual, making your guy miss. In the injury to Micah Parsons, Bo Nix was making him miss. He caused that injury. It's not a good thing. It just is what it is. It's like when the kids say, like, oh, you broke your ankles. That's exactly what happened on that injury. But you got to make yourself harder to sack. Like Aaron Rodgers is sitting there. There's a clean pocket. There's guys open. And then he gets sacked. And it's hard to blame that on an offensive line when he does it to himself. There's a reason Tom Brady and Peyton Manning led the NFL when they turned 41, 42. Look at Tom Brady's 44-year-old season. He led the NFL in time to throw because these guys know I need to beat them with my mind. I can't beat them with my leg. I have no mobility anymore. I have to be a step ahead of them. I'm going here. If it's not there, I'm going there. If it's not there, I go there. If that's not there, I'm throwing the ball away. They didn't take sacks because they led the NFL in time to throw. These boys were getting the ball out of their hands in like 2.3 seconds. Rodgers is holding the ball for 5 seconds, not afraid to get sacked. It's honorable until you get sacked, and then it's dumb. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Devon Achane in the backfield. They're going to hand it to him, and Achane is going to pick up 5, 4, 3. No. Here we go. 2nd and 6. Tua fakes the handoff, rolling to his right. Thought about throwing it, now throwing it away. Come on, Tua. Just a big shot of Aaron Rodgers' ass. Here we go. 3rd and 6. Tua rolling to his right. Got him. Achane. Yes. 24 yards. I got the passing yards. I think I just won. I just won. GG's in the chat, motherfucker. $154 to $152. First, I just want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Without him, none of this would be possible. I want to thank all of my analytics teams who helped me get the right materials together so I could draft the right team. I want to thank Jinja. I want to thank Lil E. These are the guys that have had my back throughout this whole process. Man, it just feels really good to to get this dub. And as Kobe said, job's not finished. We got a big game next week, and hopefully we can get into the championship. Achane. No fumble and you're in. Oh, I forgot about that. Shit. I remember that draft. You killed it. And man, it was like I forgot that I streamed that. That's awesome. Yes, sir. Now can the Steelers win? I need Aaron to get the ball back so he can get 3 more passing yards. That's what I need. And then Warren had the rushing yards, and then they got called with the holding. Here we go. 3rd and 1. They bring in Ollie Gordon and lose 4 yards. Jesus. Oh my gosh, you can't make this up. I said yesterday, both Riley Patterson's. I said yesterday, I'm like, both these teams are pretty like mediocre right now. And I think that is going to make for a very close game. And Ollie Gordon was slow to get up. I think it makes for a close game, no matter what. Looks like his leg got bent awkwardly. "54-yard field goal. They're going to try to kick it. He takes the cross out of the jersey." We saw this work for the Jaguars in the game-winning field goal against the Chargers in the playoffs. Let's see if Riley Patterson has the same amount of luck. Snap, hold, kick is good. Kick's good. That's his career long. I'm going to see, is that the same kicker? Who kicked the game-winning kick for Jacksonville when they played the Chargers in the playoffs in 2021, I believe? Riley Patterson. That's Riley Patterson. Okay, so there you go. It's the same guy. I was like, oh, he's taking the cross out of his jersey. That worked for the kicker. It's the same kicker. All right, so that's his thing. I like it. I like it. Taking the cross out for the kick. Good pull. I know. Thank you. I felt good about that. Probably better than I should. Man, I'm in a good mood now. No, I'm kidding. Man, it's kind of crazy to be in the playoffs. Look, my opponent didn't have like a down week. He was projected 129. He pulled out 152 points. He got 42 points from Amon-Ra St. Brown. He got 25 from Goddard. I tried to bench Lamar for Jackson Dart, but he was locked. And he would have got me, I would have 165 already. Again, my late season trade is interesting because here's what's funny about the fantasy football world. I only won this week because I traded Jonathan Taylor. And it's not because if I had Jonathan Taylor, I would have lost. As you can see, I have a player with 4 points that I wouldn't have starting if I didn't do that trade. I only have Justin Jefferson because of that trade. So it's not because Jonathan Taylor didn't get a bunch of points. It's because in order to get Justin Jefferson, in order to get Jefferson and Achane, I had to trade Kincaid, my Dalton Kincaid, and Jonathan Taylor. But because I didn't have Kincaid, I was using the waiver wire to pick up tight ends, and someone dropped Kyle Pitts. So I had to pick up Kyle Pitts, and I start Kyle Pitts, and he gets 46 points, which is what got me this win. It's hilarious, the ripple effect. We got the one, the only, undeniable, undisputable Crafty. What's up, Crafty? Just enjoying this game here. Need Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball for 3 more passing yards. Need Jalen Warren to run the ball for 5 more. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10, 11, 12. We're good. Now I need Jalen Warren to pick up 5. 5 yards for Jalen. Pitts literally is the only reason I'm winning this week. Kyle Pitts. Now, who would I have started if I didn't have Kyle Pitts? Well, that changes things because I would have started either Ricky Pearsall or Mike Evans. And Mike Evans got 20 points. He will be starting next week in the place of Justin Jefferson. Warren, I think he just picked up 5 yards. Give me 5. Don't give me 4, damn it. Give me 5. Second and 6. Fuck. That looked like a 5-yard gain to me. We need one more carry for Warren. Second and 6. I expect them to throw it here. Oh. Rodgers fakes the handoff. Darnell Washington. And he goes out of bounds. Imagine having to hit Shaquille O'Neal as a tight end. All right. Come on. Let's get Jalen Warren a carry. Don't think about it. Just do it. Empty backfield here. Rodgers, 10 for 11 for 80 yards. Here's Rodgers. Gainwell. I need DK Metcalf to have 1 catch as well. Can we maybe find a way to get... Did DK Metcalf even have a catch in the first... I thought DK Metcalf had 1 catch. Let's see. Receiving props. Yeah, he had 1 catch. So I need DK Metcalf to have 1 catch. And I need Jalen Warren to have 1 yard. We have 2 minutes and 36 seconds left in the first half. Adam Thielen is a Steeler. He left the Panthers. He went back to the Vikings, and the Vikings then sent him to the Steelers. I wasn't aware. Only the 5th undrafted player to reach, I think that was 8,000 receiving yards. All right. On this drive, can we get DK Metcalf a target? Kenneth Gainwell's going to get the pitch. And he got out of bounds. The clock continues to run. Jalen Warren's getting the ball here. I can tell. Are they going to even snap the ball? Let's see if they snap it. Nope. 2-minute warning. Two minutes to go. The score is 3-0. The Steelers looking to at least tie the game, but most likely, well, not most likely, but they're definitely trying to score a touchdown here. It's 2nd and 6, 2 minutes to go. And I will update the background for you guys. Do you guys play fantasy football? Did you make it to the playoffs? Have your playoffs started? Lil E, do you play fantasy at all? I'm also watching NC State play Washington in the Natty for men's soccer. Oh, that's fun. Lil E jumping around. Just a big sports guy. Kaksuki. You got to do a background of us in the crowd again. Dude, that I saved it. I'll always have that. That's not going anywhere. Seven. Here we go. 8:14. Here's your 2-minute warning from Monday Night Football. Lil T, diverse as fuck. Yeah, it's dope. I'm listening in while watching it. NC State was down 2-0. They came back to tie it 2-2 before the regular time ended. Ooh, so we're in overtime. Ginger's loving it. Yeah, I'm keeping that. It kind of feels like I'm on the field right now. Oh, I gotta get my. I still have my. Gainwell picks up 5, so it's gonna be 3rd and 1. I think Dolphins take a timeout. So the Dolphins being aggressive here. Obviously, they're going to fake the handoff. And they're going to throw a jump ball in the end zone to DK Metcalf. And I'm going, and maybe I'm not going to get the yards unless the Dolphins get a quick 3-and-out, incomplete passes. Then the Steelers call timeout when they run it. They get the ball back, and then they just run the ball. And Warren picks up a quick yard. Unless he really got 5 yards on that carry, and the score bug was wrong, which does happen once in a while. 3rd and 1, Warren in the backfield. Will they give it to him? Here we go. They're going to pitch it to him. He didn't get it. God Dang it! Should have faked it. Went the other way. You got something. You got a half yard. It should be 4th and inches. Miami calls another timeout. It's 4th and inches. Tush push. They got it. They got it. They got it. They got it. And that should be, look, if it's 4th and inches, that should be the play. I'm tired of seeing teams on 4th and inches run the ball from shotgun. And by the way, you know who should be running the tush push? Not Kenneth Gainwell. It should be Darnell Washington. Darnell Washington is 6'7", 300, and I don't even know. A minute 28 to go. It went down to a minute 26. They put 2 seconds back on the clock. Here we go. Kenneth Gainwell in the backfield. Fakes the handoff, looking to pass, has all the time in the world, throwing it. That's Kenneth Gainwell, who's going to take it close to a first down. That's amazing. DK Metcalf doesn't have a single target. He has 1 target in the first half so far. How does that happen? Throw the ball. He's open in the back of the end zone. I'm not even cheering for that to happen because then that would be the end of the drive and I want my 1 yard. But still, like what? That's not going to work. Damn. Face mask. He just took a shot in the back. Look at this hit he takes to the back. Jaylen Warren back into the game. Shotgun. Here we go. Handoff. Got it. He got 5 yards. He's down short of the goal line, but he got it. He got the yards. So now throw it to fucking... If I could get both of these to go through from the 3-yard line, Yeah. Throw it to Metcalf, top of the screen. Here we go. DK Metcalf's getting a target here. I'm calling it right now. Corner of the end zone, jump ball. He's got man coverage. This is a jump ball to Metcalf. Nope. Oh, he got closer. Call timeout. What are the Steelers doing? There's 20 seconds left. There you go. It'll be 3rd and goal. See if they get DK Metcalf a jump ball here. Touchdown? The Dolphins are saying it's not a touchdown. Not that that matters. Connor Hayward. Number 83, and Darnell Washington is behind him pushing. Ooh, that was close, y'all. We came really close for Jalen Warren not getting that. There we go. Lil got his Steelers a touchdown. And this is exactly how I felt like the game would go. Nothing surprising about this one at all. I mean, even the fact that DK Metcalf has one target, it's frustrating. It's not surprising. And we saw this. I remember the Steelers playing on Thursday night against the Bengals in a shootout. Tell me how DK Metcalf had 3 targets in that game. How? It's unacceptable. NC State just lost. Jinja said he wanted to hang out with you, Lily. I don't know if that was for Lily or for me. I always want to hang out with you, Jinja. I wish we lived closer. NC State just lost. Number 10 from Washington had been a pain in the arse all night against NC State, but I'll take a Steelers win. To be honest, while I'm at it, Pierre, Watt are both out. Oh, dude. We got the Colts and the 49ers on Monday night. I said this, I think, when I was doing my Phillip Rivers episode, but I was like, the Colts should have started Phillip Rivers on the Monday Night Football game for the first time. I didn't like the decision to start him right away. I thought Monday Night Football prime time, they could lean into the story. It's the first time we've seen Phillip Rivers. Also, the running defense. It is a lot worse for the 49ers than it is for the Seahawks. And to me, that's helpful because then the Colts can run the football and kind of lean into that and help out Phillip Rivers. And also, if he goes out in the Seattle game and has a terrible game, then he's got to deal with the media, and then maybe mentally he starts questioning. It's just a lot of bad. And I felt like that's what they should have done. And my computer is freezing. Come on, go away, go away, go away. Got it. All right. So a handoff to Achane, and that'll do it. And lucky for me, he didn't fumble the ball. All right. So I got a couple graphics for you guys. Here we go. I feel like this is a good one for halftime. And let me edit this, put myself in the top right. I think we're going to get rated this halftime, you guys. I can feel it. There's something in the air tonight, and we're going to get rated. Here is the there I am. It's crazy. My pirated video is clearer than my YouTube TV. It's crazy seeing the guy that does ESPN late at night, seeing him on the field. I'm like, wait, who are we going to talk to after the game? Miami Dolphin Hall of Famer Jason Taylor, who I've met in real life. Met is a bit of an exaggeration. The restaurant I used to work in, he would come in as a regular customer, but I try not to bother it's unprofessional for one, and for two, it's just ethically the right thing to do. And but I felt like I got to know him, you know. I know what he ate, I know what he drank, and but no, never had like full-blown conversations with the guy. But he's going to be the second half guest on the Manning cast for MNF on ESPN 8, The Ocho. You know, Aaron Rodgers is 13-8 in 21 Monday Night Football games. I found it interesting. He's only played 21 Monday Night Football games. I don't know why, but I feel like that's a little low for a guy that's been in the league that long. The Steelers definitely dominating time of possession. Let's see. They're offering me a cash out of $33 for Aaron Rodgers and Tua to have 20 passing yards in each quarter. I'm going to ride it. Jalen Warren, 20 rushing yards. Let's see. Let's see the play-by-play. Pittsburgh Steelers, 12-play drive. 12-play drive that resulted in a touchdown. It felt like that drive was going to end in a touchdown. Jonnu Smith. For 1 yard. No way. They said he only got 3. It was 2nd and 6. Remember the run that I said? Do you remember the run where I was like, give me 5 yards, give me 5 yards, and they gave him 4 yards? FanDuel is trying to say that that was a 3-yard gain, giving me only 4 yards. No, fuck that. That's bullshit. No, that's not happening. That's not happening. That's bullshit. Dude, that is such bullshit. I'm finding the run right now. Second and 6. Okay. It was right here. It was 2nd and 6, so it was the play before. That was Kenneth Gainwell, and it was the play after, right here. Is it? No way. Let me see. Where's the First and 10 on Pittsburgh 50. 4 minutes 4 minutes 28 seconds. Here it is. I'm recording it. You're telling me that's 3 yards? That's a 3-yard gain. Thought it was a 5-yard gain. And it's 2nd and 6. It's a 4-yard gain. Not only that, but to call the ending of this drive a 1-yard gain is just as crazy. Here's the end. Look at this. That's 4 yards. And that's 2 yards. But there's no way that run and this run, there's no way those 2 runs equal 4 yards. That's crazy. Oh, look at this. I'm making this. I'm tired of fucking FanDuel and their fucking cheating. You're telling me that's 3 yards? I got it. You're telling me that's 3 yards? That's a 3-yard gain. Thought it was a 5-yard gain. And it's 2nd and 6. I'm recording it. You're telling me that's 3 yards? I've been watching football my whole life. I've been watching football my whole life. I know what a 3-yard run looks like. Thought it was a 5-yard gain. What is going on? Why can't I? Original. No way. 4. I got to do a little bit better job of recording this. Full screen. Why is it freezing? Come on. Okay, now that run is freezing when I try to record it. That's crazy. Here we go. It's just this run. It's freezing. Everything else is working. This is unbelievable. Why is that run freezing? This is hilarious. This is hilarious. That's so fucking. That's impossible. I went back in YouTube to find that run, and the whole thing works until the run starts, and then it doesn't work. That's unbelievable. All right. So now the third quarter's starting. And Warren is going to take it for a gain of 5. Dude, that's so fucking crazy. Thought it was a 5-yard gain. And it's 2nd and 6. Not only that, but to call 3-yard gain. Look at this. Look at this. Here's another run with Warren. Look at this. That's 4 yards. And that's 2 yards. I'm not having it, dude. I'm not getting fucking cheated by these fucking pricks. It's not happening. I'm tired of the cheating. This is the second time in 3 days that they've cheated. Last time they tried to cheat because Wembanyama for the Spurs didn't even play in the first quarter, so it needed to be voided, and they said that I missed. FanDuel Sportsbook. Tired of this. Marquez Valdez Scantling. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Look at. I'm recording it. Look at this. Look at this. Look at these. These are the two runs. Unbelievable from FanDuel, creating just 4 yards total from these two Jalen Warren runs. Clearly a 4-yard run. Clearly. Look at this. It's 4 yards. And this is the first one. I'm recording it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's
You're
4
telling me
yards. That's 4 yards all day. And
It's
this
4
is more
yards.
than one. And bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Brother Kyle, did you see Dickie V a few nights ago when he was at Barkley and Lexington? I didn't. Did both get 22 apiece in the past 2 quarters? You should make it an advertisement about saying, want to not get cheated on FanDuel, play DraftKings instead. Oh, my night just got hella better. My Kentucky basketball boys are about to be at full strength. Hell yeah. They're a bunch of dicks. Dude, it's just like, no. Like, I'm not going down like that. I'll lose on my own. I don't need any help. That's such bullshit, dude. It's such bullshit. Oh, there's going to be a flag because the kickoff didn't land in the kicking zone. Aaron Rodgers getting his wish, playing meaningful football in December. Team's in first place, and they have an 11-point lead. They're going to hand it off to Achan. Achan picks up one. Come on, Tua. Throw the ball. All right. A 3-yard completion. Dolphins 1 for 4 on third down. It's 3rd and 6. Their average tonight's only 4 yards. Still can't convert. And he just lost 20 yards on a sack. Jesus. Tua is so bad, dude. Watching other quarterbacks play and watching Tua go, it's like, what a difference. Here we go. Steelers get the ball back. And Austin returns it to the 23. Let me see. Top. It's only $15, but it's the principle. It's really not about the money. It's about the system. And it's just fucked up. I mean, you saw these 2 runs. I'm texting it to you. I just texted it to you, Ginger. You tell me if those 2 runs look like they equal 4 yards. Bullshit. All right. That was like the fastest halftime ever, by the way. I was trying to put that little video together and then got done with it. And here we go. Aaron Rodgers, shotgun. First and 10. Rodgers looking to pass. And, oh, he knows who DK Metcalf is. That's awesome. Steelers 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 22. I had a weird final score, 22-19. Quick snap by Rodgers on 3rd and 3. The camera wasn't even ready. No flag. There was 12 men on the field, which is why I assumed 100%, 4 yards, then 2. Thank you. They call that 5 fucking yards. I mean, I'm sorry, they called it 4 yards. Here we go. Handoff, Kenneth Gainwell for a 10-yard gain. How is Aaron Rodgers allowed to yell at the refs and get a flag? Oh, because of replay assist. Here we go. Over the middle, Gainwell again. Gainwell's having a big day. Here we go. 2nd and 6. Rodgers looking to throw. Dolphins send 5. Interception. No, they're going to say he dropped it. Jordan Brooks almost had a monster play. And it's time to update the ticker. Man, look how close this interception was. Oh my gosh, it just popped out at the end. Here we go. Is this 4-down territory? Outside of field goal range, a little too far for that. 3rd and 6, play clock down to 2, 1, and it snapped. Rodgers throwing. Fearmouth all the way down to the 26. Here we go. Rodgers hands it off. Gainwell, nowhere to go. He's going to lose a yard. Kyle is so impressed that he refuses to acknowledge the second quarter has ended on his scoreboard. Ginger, guess what I just found out? College basketball related. You can Steelers want this badly. I was just waiting for the right picture. That's all. Here we go. 2nd and 11. Rodgers looking to throw. Looking, throwing deep. Flag. No flag. I thought there might have been a flag. Third and 11. Oh, they're bringing an extra blitz, and he stops. Oh, what a catch. What a throw. DK Metcalf staying on his feet. Touchdown. Wow. Wow. DK Metcalf. Wow. Aaron Rodgers now with 180 passing yards. $21 points. I didn't know Marquez Valdez-Scantling played with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Look at this. This is the happiest Steeler fans have been in a while, and I did not see this coming. Aaron Rodgers, 19 for 22, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's only thrown 4 incomplete passes in this game. This is going to be returned 20 to the 27. Quick throw, Achane. Nowhere to go. Trying to get Achane more involved. Obviously, this is it. I mean, this is the season for the Dolphins. They need to win this game or their season's over. And how do you get your best player the football? That's got to be the answer here. Tua's got to step up and start making some throws. Oh my God, it's almost intercepted. And guess where? The middle of the fucking field. He just isn't a good quarterback, man. Well, the Finsley, no, but they might leave Tua there because I don't know how you can even get mad at a football coach when this is the type of performance you're getting from your quarterback. I mean, I don't know. What is Mike McDaniel supposed to do about this? This is terrible. I mean, the Dolphins are 0 for their last 16 on 3rd and 10. Look at this, all this time, and you can't make a decision. And now you take a sack? You spend fucking 15 minutes to do that? How is it that you got all of these playmakers, Achane, Waddle, and you spend that much time and you can't find anything? Here's a punt. See if he returns this one to the house. It kind of feels like that time. No, he gets tripped up. There's a flag down. Block in the back. Man. I have a profit boost available. Let's go with DK Metcalf, another touchdown. We're going to go the Steelers to win by more than 18.5. We're going to go with Aaron Rodgers to throw for 250 yards. Profit boost it $10 to win 500. I just don't believe that they can stop him right now. We got the one and only Nash. What's up, Nash? How you doing? Here's where we're going. We're going Steelers. That's definitely that's Photoshop. Nobody bet Connor Hayward. Let's see. Here's where we're going. DK Metcalf touchdown. Rodgers 250. Steelers pull away and win by more than 18. $500. Let's go. Rodgers looking to throw, and Darnell Washington drops it. Just got done with my Christmas concert. How did it go? Did you win? Here we go. 17 plays the Steelers have ran in the third quarter. The Dolphins have ran 6 plays for negative 20 yards. It's almost a shame that they wasted 4 minutes of my life. Here's a run with Jalen Warren. He's going to gain 1, so FanDuel will probably call that a loss of 3. Steelers making some substitutions here. Tua has 65 passing yards. Dolphins got to find a way to get Achane going, man. 3rd and 8. And a throw. And he's going to be a yard short. That's taunting. That's taunting. Yeah. That's taunting on Brooks. That's going to be a first down. He stood over him. obviously a taunting penalty, and that's that is on coaching. But even so, it's not like McDaniels is, man, it's just a culture thing, and it's got to change. It's got to change. The Dolphins have way too many skill players to be this bad. And look at the other players on the Dolphins. They're coming up to him saying, "Dude, what the hell? What the hell? Why are you doing that?" I saw it. He goes, Troy Aikman goes, "I didn't see anything." Pretty obvious. You standing over him. What is there to be confused about? The NFL's been clear. You can't do that this year. You don't have to like it, but that's the rule. And if you stand over the player, literally take a step forward just so that he's laying down in between your legs so you can look down at him for 5 seconds, you're going to get a penalty. This is nothing about whether or not you agree with it. It's a matter of the rule. Troy Aikman, I don't know if there's enough there. Kenneth Gainwell gets a 9-yard gain. I hope nobody started Jalen Warren tonight. And that is the way the third quarter ends. And I'm sure Tua may be in his last season as a Dolphin. This fucking idiot. I posted. Let me show you this. So I posted. This, right? This is the run that got 4 yards, and then the next run he got 1 yard. And I said, crediting only 4 yards for these 2 runs is absolute robbery. This fucking retard. Sorry, I'm trying not to say that. How are you blaming FanDuel for where the ref spotted the ball? That's how yardage is determined. You shouldn't bet on sports that you don't understand. I said, I'm going to be nice and just say to you, the ref spotted the ball as a 4-yard gain and FanDuel called it a 3-yard gain. 1st and 10 leading to 2nd and 6 is 4 fucking yards. Are people really that dumb? It's like, it's almost unbelievable how you can be that dumb. Devon Achane now only projected 14 points. He's got 9 points miraculously. I mean, this is the exact type of game that would have lost me. My fantasy week, if I was relying on him to have like a 20-point game. We'll see what the Dolphins can muster in the 4th quarter, but so far, not looking good. Here we go, 4th quarter underway. Rodgers in shotgun. Quick throw. Oh my goodness. All the way to the 27, Fearmouth. Wow. Rodgers knew where he was going with that ball. Saw something on his little iPad. And snaps the ball, throws the ball immediately. Rodgers. Gainwell. 6. Look at these power rankings. Came a long way from All State. Now we all American. We all American. I swear to God, I put the hero in here. These flows, I could sell snow to a ski slope. And these eyes are iconic. I went broke and made profit. Here we go. 2nd and 5. Rodgers, 13 minutes, 45 seconds. In shotgun formation. Can he pile on this defense? Looking to throw. Gets it to Warren. Warren gets a 1st down and 5 extra for good measure. And the Steelers now looking to score another touchdown and make this game a 25-point lead. I went back and took the 18.5-point spread because why wouldn't I? This is the type of game where you have enough of a cushion where Aaron Rodgers is going to want to throw a bone to his star wide receiver who hasn't been a problem, hasn't been a prima donna. I mentioned the Thursday night game against the Bengals where he only had 3 catches, 3 targets in a shootout. And yet DK Metcalf has remained not an issue. I think this is the kind of game where you actually try to get DK Metcalf 2 touchdowns. You don't just like whatever happens, happens. If it's a tie ball game here, it's like we don't have, the luxury to force touchdowns. But Aaron Rodgers being a veteran, knowing that there's certain players that once in a while, when you can, you get to throw them a bone or 2. I think Aaron Rodgers targets DK Metcalf for touchdown number 2. which is exactly why when the Dolphins punted the football, I knew it was time for DK Metcalf 2-touchdown bet. And not just that, but I knew it was also time for the Steelers to win this game by 18.5. This is to win 500. And of course, he doesn't have 180 passing yards anymore. He has 219, 30 more passing yards, an entire quarter to go. I'm not worried about the Steelers minus 18.5. Can we get DK Metcalf that touchdown and call it a day, baby? This is why you got to watch the game, man. You got to feel the game, and I'm feeling this. I would be pissed too. Thank you. You think Pittsburgh wins Sunday against the Lions? I actually think it's going to be a very close game. And I think with the Lions, look, I said it last year when Buffalo was playing the Lions last year. The game before the Lions had to, Buffalo played the Lions last year, but the week before that, Buffalo had to play the Rams, and Josh Allen had like 5 total touchdowns. And I know how a game against the Rams and the traveling can be taxing, but this year it's the Lions who are coming off the Rams game, not the Bills. And the Steelers winning this game pretty handedly against the Dolphins. I think it's like polar opposites, right? The Steelers are at home, not traveling, playing an inferior opponent. And, you know, that just tells me touchdown. I didn't know. Well, I guess they'll just pitch it and run it. That's his first rushing score of the year. I think it's going to set up for the Steelers to be. I would take them to cover whatever the spread is. I imagine it'll be like 5.5. And no, I wouldn't be surprised if they win it outright. Given all the injuries to the Packers, including Parsons and Watson, is there a chance they lose out? Don't make the playoffs? The remaining games, Bears on the road, Ravens, and Vikings. I think the Packers will be fine defensively without Parsons. I don't think, like, you can say that they'll be as good. Of course, they're going to be worse, but they were already top 5 in passing defense, top 5 in rushing defense, and that's not just because of Micah Parsons. So they take a step down, but they're not taking a step down from being middle of the pack to a bad defense. They're taking a step down from being a top defense to a fringe top 15 defense. And then offensively, Christian Watson just got back. I mean, everybody's acting like this guy's been there all year. He just got back. The Packers were doing okay without him. Romeo Doubs. They got Jaden Reed back. They got the rookie, Matthew Golden. They still got Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love. I think what's happening here is that there's a lot of deflecting going on. You have a group of people that wanted to call the Broncos fraudulent for the entire year, and now they're forced to say that, well, they only won because of the Packers' injuries. And the other group is Packer fans who are also wanting to say that, oh, that's why they came back in the second half, was because we got, these injuries. And I think that's making us, the amount of pushing of that narrative that the Packers lost because of the injuries, I think it's making us overvalue the injuries. And I do think Green Bay is going to be fine. I don't know if they're going to win out, but I don't think they're losing out. And I think the Packers are still a team that could go into the playoffs and win. And I mean, they were able to go to Dallas and win by like 40 points. They didn't have Micah Parsons. They were going against Micah Parsons. And they didn't have Matthew Golden. They had Jaden Reed, Tavion Wicks, Romeo Dobbs. They have all these cats there. And now they have Josh Jacobs. I mean, I think they'll be fine. I think the injury that hurt them the most was Tucker Kraft. And they've been able to overcome that one. They beat the Bears without him, so I think they'll be all right. Pittsburgh 7-point underdogs. Yeah, I'm taking the 7 all day. Those odds should shorten after tonight's game. We shall see, Brother Crafty. Yeah, they definitely will. I wonder if we're going to see Aaron Rodgers come back out. We would have to see a Dolphins touchdown, I think. Like I said, the Broncos-Packers game, the Bills-Patriots game, the Rams-Lions game, these games should have been flexed to Monday Night Football. And Sunday Night Football, even though it was a good game, that should have been a 4 o'clock game. The NFL failed massively with not flexing the amount of signature games Week 15 had to offer. And, man, Achane getting loose in coverage and picking up 15, getting on bounds. The Dolphins just got over 100 yards, and Achane probably has 75 of them. That's their first down since there was just under 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. They need 25 points. And the fact that they're I don't think the sense of urgency is good enough from the Dolphins. They should be running no huddle. They should be running no huddle. And the fact that Devon Achane is just now getting these touches when he's the only offense they've had. Literally, there's Jalen Waddle. A throw. Unbelievable. Now Jalen Waddle's hurt. Jesus, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. Come on. Why are they huddling up? They're down 25 with their season on the line. Because if Steelers win on Sunday against the Lions, then a win against the Ravens in Week 18 should settle the deal for Pittsburgh making the playoffs. Oh, dude. The Steelers are going to make the playoffs. Tua going to Darren Waller down to the 7. All right, here come the Dolphins. Finally, a little bit of life. Jalen Waddle, only 2 catches tonight. Did he come back into the game? Wow, the play clock all the way down to 2. Throwing it out of the back of the end zone. At least the clock stops. I mean, how come? Yeah, you know what's crazy is when I'm watching Bronco games and Bo Nick starts rolling out to his right. Josh Allen, same thing. Mahomes, same thing. And I'm not putting him in the category. Just this one category. When these guys start rolling out to their right, I feel like something great is about to happen. When Tua runs to his right, Darren Waller, touchdown, jump ball. When Tua's rolling, dude, I feel like something terrible is about to happen. I guess that was really good coverage if they're not calling PI. Yeah. And now they're going to go for 2. My final score for this game was 19-22. That's impossible. But they could get 19. This would give them 11, which would make it a 17-point game. Otherwise, they would need 3 touchdowns anyway, so might as well. What the hell is that throw? That is just a terrible throw. It's almost frustrating to see how happy Tua is when his team's playing this bad. Dallas never gets flex. They're consistently the NFL's biggest moneymaker ratings scabber, no matter who they play. Well, what about this one? Because I feel like we've known for a while the Dolphins are not great TV. Because I remember streaming like 7 weeks ago, maybe, and I was looking ahead to week 15, and I'm like, look at all these bangers, and then making the case that one of these should be flexed, and it just didn't happen. We got week 16 coming up. Thursday night's going to be good. The Seahawks and the Rams. Buffalo, Cleveland, snooze. The game's in Cleveland, so I don't know, maybe something there. Chargers, Dallas, awesome. Chiefs, Tennessee, don't care. Bengals, Dolphins, 2 teams eliminated from the playoffs. Had both these teams won, this would be essentially a playoff game for both teams that had to win out, but Bengals got shut out, and Miami was trying to do the same. The Giants at home against Minnesota. I like it. McCarthy going against Dart, 2 quarterbacks in their rookie season, even though, one's not technically a rookie. He definitely looks like one, but still not the greatest. Jets, Saints, I'd rather not. Tampa Bay, Carolina. Yes. Love it. That's the best game at noon. Jacksonville at Denver. I mean, that's a great game. I think that game should have been flexed to Sunday Night Football because the Patriots at Baltimore, as good of a matchup as it is, Baltimore is just not good TV right now. Here's a good return by the Steelers, Jalen Warren. Arizona versus Atlanta, don't care. Pittsburgh and Detroit. Yeah, that's a good one. The Raiders against anybody sucks. So we really have 3 good games this week. The 49ers and Colts is Monday night, and that should be fun because Phillip Rivers. The Patriots and Ravens, the Steelers in Detroit, Broncos and Jaguars, Tampa Bay and Carolina. That's it. I mean, it's really not a great lineup. 5 good football games. Chargers and Dallas could be sneaky fun too. I'll throw that in there. Oh, we have Saturday night on Peacock, the Bears in Chicago. That's fun. And then the Seahawks and Rams is fun too. But those games aren't on Sunday. You think the Ravens lose to the Patriots? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got to see how the Patriots respond. I don't think the Patriots. I don't know. I mean, they played 2 completely different halves. I don't know which Patriot team I'm going to get. And the Ravens, I don't trust them at all. I just can't. Like, I feel like if the Ravens and Dolphins were playing right now, it would be a close game. We actually had the Ravens Dolphins. It was 28-6. So scratch that, I guess. Which is almost what the score is now. At Lilly. Don't sell the Pats short because they lost a close game to the most explosive QB in the league right now. Yeah. Got to see. Well, here's the deal with New England. I don't think people are selling them short. I think it's just their schedule has been very, very easy. 500 is being 7-7. Their average opponent is like 0.315. Their average opponent up to like week 10 had an average of 3 wins. And then we finally get to Buffalo, and then it was like, except the Buffalo game that was in New England. And it was like, okay, that's awesome, but it's just one game, and B, Buffalo also lost to the Falcons the next week. So Buffalo went through like a weird phase in the middle of the season, like week 4 and week 5, and then they went into their bye week, and they came out playing better football. And then we get to this Buffalo game, and it's like, all right, here we go. This is the big game. And it started out, and it was like, damn, okay, New England. And then they weren't able to close it. So I think we're all just kind of in Patriots purgatory right now. We know they're better than average. We don't know if they're good or if they're great. And Jalen Warren's going to be just an inch or 2 short. Crafty said, Pats have been a good team all year long. Ravens just decided not to be asked for a single game. Right. Exactly. And I don't think Lil Lee was saying the Patriots were bad. I think he was just saying, do you think the Ravens lose to the Patriots? But obviously he's going to be cheering for the Patriots because that's how his Steelers get in. All right, Aaron Rodgers is going to be punting it. Well, not Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers. Wow, they let the punter wear Russell Wilson's jersey number. That's shocking. I thought they would have retired that. Dolphins would need another touchdown to get 15. 16 would put them down by 12. I think they would go for 2 again to make it an 11-point game. So then a 2-point conversion and a field goal would tie it. Dolphins got to score though in the next 2 minutes. Jalen Wright. Well, you said I was speaking more so in the sense of hoping for the Pats to beat the Ravens. And yes, exactly what Brother Kyle said. Yeah, so that it would help your beloved Steelers get in. Let's see if Tua can do anything. It's going to be a catch by Julian Hill in a first down. They need at least 2 more touchdowns. And with the clock running, I'm surprised how slow. I mean, the play clock's down to 9. Your season's on the line. Sack. This offensive line stinks. And so does Tua. I don't know who's worse. No, it's Tua. And look at the clock. Tick, 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 tick. Tua, just a little too comfortable. Dulcich, wide open. All right. Waller starting to get going. 5 receptions. Jalen Waddle's back on the field. Hasn't been targeted, but he's back. Achane in the backfield. And he's going to get A quick completion. Achan up to 14 points now. 4-minute drive. They just don't move fast enough, man. They just don't move fast enough. I feel like at some point you just have to take a shot to the end zone. Here we go, Tua. And, man, he just... And there's Achan. 20. All the way down to the 12-yard line. Achan picks up 18 yards. $16 points now. So he would have to fumble the ball 7 times for me to lose. Kind of a bad week for McCaffrey to his standards. 15 fantasy points. It's funny because if I show my team like on on Twitter or anything, everyone's like, "Oh, you're in an 8-man league." Tua to the end zone, touchdown, Darren Waller. The Dolphins, yep, they're going to go for 2 to make it a 2-possession game. Crazy that Tua couldn't have 20 passing yards in each quarter. Tua looking. Oh, he had him. There was a window of Oh, Greg Dulcich dropped the 2-point conversion. So it's a 13-point game. And, Greg Dulcich was drafted by the Broncos. And we let him go. Probably because plays like that. He's always injured. And then when he does have a chance to make a play, he just drops it. Four onside kicks have been recovered. Let's see if Riley Patterson takes the cross out of the jersey for this onside kick. It is out. We have the cross outside the jersey. (15-28). Darren Waller retired early to focus on his rap career, came out of retirement, and he's one of the only good things about the Dolphins this year. Him, Achan. Here's the onside kick. They get the bounce. Oh my God, they got exactly what they needed and still didn't recover it. Wow. I mean, they got exactly what they needed. This is, oh, what a shame. Here we go. Hey, they still have 3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning, so 4 chances to stop the clock. And then they can try the onside kick again. Their kicker, he's good at him. Here's a pitch. And Gainwell picks up 3. Dolphins call timeout. Man, I can't believe I was able to win on a week where my opponent had a receiver with 2 touchdowns, a running back with a touchdown, Zay Flowers with a touchdown, Chuba Hubbard with 50 return yards, Goddard with 2 touchdowns, Amon-Ra St. Brown with 2 touchdowns. My opponent had all of that, and I was able to get it done because Michael Wilson had a touchdown and Kyle Pitts had 3. Here's a run. All right, that's going to be a clock stopper, gain of 0. 3rd and 6. 2 minutes, 21 seconds. Can the Dolphins get the ball back? Can't wait for next week, man. Phillip Rivers. Monday Night Football in front of the whole world. They're going to throw it. Aaron Rodgers takes the sack. Why do they do this? I don't understand this. Why do teams call their 3rd timeout when there's 2 minutes and 14 seconds left? How much time did that timeout save the Dolphins? 14 seconds. All right. How much time does a timeout save you when there's nothing that will stop the clock? 45 seconds. To get the most value out of your timeout, you would have let this run to the 2-minute warning, kept your timeout in your back pocket so that if you throw a 50, 60-yard completion, a play that will take 30 seconds. Oh my gosh. It's going to be on the 2-yard line. A play that, because look, now the clock's down to 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Anyway, if you have a big completion downfield, typically it takes 25, 30 seconds to get everybody down there, get the play called, get set, and get the ball set. You could save 30 seconds, and instead you called your final timeout to save 14 seconds. I want to see the analytics percentages that they use on downs and distances used for when a team should be calling timeout. .204 to go. They're going to run it. You did all of that. You saved your timeout. Oh my God. You saved your timeout to run the clock down to the 2-minute warning. No, you burned your final timeout instead of. You burned your final timeout to preserve the 2-minute warning, just to run the ball on first down to take it to the 2-minute warning. What? I don't even know if the Dolphins are trying to win. Second and 6. And Darren Waller picks up 9. They got a long way to go, but they're going to need a big chunk play, which they've struggled getting the big plays today. And Tua gets sacked. See, now would be a good time. Timeout. 1:28 left. So they've already spent an entire minute to get 7 yards. So here's 4th and 3, a crucial 4th down. Wouldn't it be nice to have a timeout there? But you burned it just to run the ball down to the 2-minute warning. And then Achane completes that. Clock under a minute. Dolphins trying to move down, but they haven't gotten a chunk play yet. Snap. Tua looking. Oh my gosh. Almost intercepted, but at least the clock stops. 42 seconds. And the Dolphins have picked up like 12 yards in a minute 20 seconds. Devon Achane, 18.9 points. Maybe Achane can break a big play. And we know how fast he is. He doesn't have a timeout. Now they have a delay of game. This is ridiculous. They can't get one play call. Now they take a delay of game. Man, Aaron Rodgers looked really good in this game. That much is a fact. But this is just one of the worst games I've seen from Tua. Here he is looking to throw, and he's going to throw it to Washington, and Washington can't even get out of bounds. The clock keeps running. Why is Tua throwing the ball 3 yards? You need a big play. I mean, this is ridiculous. They're at the 21-yard line. They got 19 yards in 2 minutes. And another dump off in the middle of the field, and this guy's not even smart enough to get out of bounds. And that's it. No sense in running another play. Tua's got to go. He simply is not good enough to be a professional quarterback. I know he caught lightning in a bottle and had a good year. It doesn't matter what he did. It's not there, right? They figured it out. They know what he's not good at. This guy can't throw to the middle of the field. And, I mean, he's got 11 interceptions, and they're all at the middle of the field versus zone defense, besides today's that was on the outside. I don't think Mike McDaniel should lose his job, just like I didn't think Dable should have lost his job, because Dable was the one that got Jackson Dart the job. And we haven't even seen what that team looks like with Jackson Dart as the starter for a full season. And Scatterbo went down as well. Malik Neighbors was down. This is a Giants team that could be good, but now you're ripping it all up again. You got to bring in a new coach, and we'll see. But we saw Dable take the Giants to a playoff game and win on the road in Minnesota. I think too often they get rid of the wrong players or coaches. And with the Dolphins, I think Mike McDaniel's a good head coach as far as a play caller. I think he had an issue with his first 3 years in culture, and I think he made a lot of mistakes, but I also think he learned from those. And he's not now he has to get rid of the players that can't adapt to his new culture. But how can you expect him to have success when Tua is playing as poorly as we saw today? He's just not good enough. And the Dolphins don't even look like they care. And that part is coaching. This was their season on the line, and it didn't even look like they cared. On the other side, Aaron Rodgers looked amazing. And here's a moment between Aaron Rodgers having a moment with a guy in the Dolphins. It's crazy to think too, not only are the Steelers in the driver's seat to winning their division, they're gonna be hosting a playoff game, and this is why Aaron Rodgers came back. He came back because he did not want to retire on a season with a team that their head coach gets fired midseason, they win 4 games. The Jets have a culture problem, they've always had a culture problem. He comes, he thinks about it, comes not out of retirement, but he decides, "I'm gonna play another year." Comes to the Steelers, has this team in position to host a playoff game, and win, lose, or otherwise, the fact that Aaron Rodgers can at least feel for the last time what it feels like to play a home playoff game is exactly what it was all about. And he said it himself, it's all about joy for the game. Aaron Rodgers loves the game, but he's highly competitive. And let's just be real, it's hard to have joy when you're losing all of your games in the New York media. It's hard to have joy. And I think Aaron was saying, I'm going to hang it up like this. I loved what I did for this amount of time, and now I'm just gonna hang it up. No, I wanna remind myself why I played this game for so long and why I love it, and I'm gonna have fun this year. And we saw some moments early this season where it was questionable whether or not Aaron Rodgers was having fun, right? Teammate jumping on his back and him freaking out on him, which I understand because at that age, it's dangerous. All right, this is a guy that came back from an Achilles injury 2 years ago, so it's something that people were clipping and posting like, "Oh, I thought it was about joy." Today, Aaron Rodgers looked loose. He didn't look serious. I think his players have learned what Aaron expects out of them. Aaron has figured out which players he trusts, and there was never a doubt about it. I mean, Aaron had a very great game today. He threw like 5 incomplete passes. He Not only that, but he had over I think he had over 300 yards. DK Metcalf had a touchdown. You saw some unusual players score a touchdown. The Dolphins got some garbage time points late in the game, but ultimately, when it mattered, the third quarter, the Dolphins had negative 20 yards in the third quarter. Rodgers had 224 passing yards, 23 for 27, 0 interceptions. He only took 3 sacks. I still think the Steelers aren't really attacking downfield. Like, you saw Kenneth Gainwell get 50 yards on dump off plays. You saw a very active tight end group, Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, Jonnu Smith, combined for over 100 yards. You had the one catch from Valdez-Scantling. Jalen Warren, 3 dump-offs. Adam Thielen had 1 catch, and that was a touchdown. But you're not seeing this team attack, vertically down the field like when you're watching a Seahawks game. It's just not what they do. But if they can get you to play their style of a game, the Steelers look good. The question is who are they gonna match up against in the playoffs? My hope is that the Steelers actually win their home playoff game. And that because they win, they knock off one of the wild card teams, and then so the 5, 6, and 7 play the 2, 3, and 4. So let's look at the playoff picture as it stands right now. All right. So you have the Broncos, the conference leader. They're the only team that have already clinched a playoff berth. Then you have a division leader in the Patriots, who are playing the Ravens next week. If they lose that game, Denver will likely be in good shape with the Chiefs game without Mahomes, and then the Chargers will be tough, and so will Jacksonville. But if Denver beats Jacksonville, they separate themselves from the Jaguars, and then the Jags can't have the 1 seed because the best they could do is tie Denver's record, and Denver would have the head-to-head tiebreaker. So the only teams that are threatening is the Chargers, the Bills, and the Patriots. But in order for the Chargers to get it, the Broncos would have to lose out. In Week 18, the Broncos played the Chargers in Denver. In the Patriots' case, they would need Denver to lose twice, and they would need to win out, because even if both of these teams have the same record, the Broncos head-to-head have the tiebreaker over New England. So if Denver would have lost to Green Bay, they would have still been the number 1 seed. The Bills are a game back from the Patriots, but if the Bills win out and the Patriots lose to the Ravens, and we're going to pull that up, playoff machine, now that Week 15 is fully in the books, let's look at this. Week 15 in the rear view mirror. And if you go to Week 16, you got the Broncos and Jags. Now, Jags, if they win that game and they win against the Colts and they win against the Titans, now this is Jacksonville's last difficult game. Let's say Week 17, Denver is able to beat Kansas City. And then Week 18, they lose to the Chargers. And we'll say New England. The first scenario is that Week 16, New England beats the Ravens. Week 17, they beat the Jets. And then Week 18, New England can't find them. Here they are. They beat the Dolphins. They would have a 14-3 record. Now, if Denver beats the Chargers, then they would be the 1 seed. Week 17, Denver beats the Chiefs. Then Week 16, Denver loses to Jacksonville. Week 17, we had Jacksonville winning. Week 18, we had Jacksonville winning. but Jacksonville still would be 13-4. So if Jacksonville beats Denver, Denver still would control their own destiny. And if they were to lose to Kansas City, New England would be the 1 seed. But if New England loses to the Ravens, Jacksonville becomes the 1 seed. Okay? Now, Buffalo, we'll add Buffalo in there. So if Denver loses to Jacksonville and then loses to the Chiefs, and they win against the Chargers, it doesn't matter. Jacksonville, if they win out and beat Denver, they would take the 1 seed unless the Patriots are able to win out. And like I said, they play the Jets week 17, and then week 18, they play the Dolphins. So asking for the Patriots to lose a game there is really tough. This is their last losable game in Baltimore. And if you're Jacksonville, you're hoping that Baltimore wins and you win, because then you control your own destiny. If you win out, all you're cheering for at that point would be Denver to lose on Christmas to Kansas City or to lose to the Chargers. And even if the Patriots win out, and all 3 of these teams are 13-4, Jacksonville would get the 1 seed. Now, if Denver wins that game, and of course, then they become the 1 seed. And even if the Patriots win out, because I had them losing to the Ravens, they would still be 14-3. Jacksonville would win that game. They would win this game, but losing to Denver week 16 would give them a 12-5 record. In Denver 14-3, what game do I have them losing? Oh, the Chiefs game. Now Buffalo's playing the Eagles. Okay, now let's just look at seeding. If Buffalo beats the Eagles week 17, this week Buffalo's playing the Browns. That's a win. And then week 18, Buffalo's playing the Jets. That's a win. So we got Buffalo winning 2 of their last 3 for sure. Now let's say New England lost to the Ravens and won out. They would still be the 2 seed, even though they have the same record. So the only path for Buffalo to win their division is for Buffalo, of course, to win out, including a game against the Eagles week 17. In New England, even with a loss to Baltimore and giving them the same record, New England wins the division. So you're needing the Jets or the Dolphins to beat the Patriots in order for Buffalo to win. Now, I'm going to just be generous and say Buffalo wins out, but I'm going to be honest and say New England doesn't lose to the Dolphins or the Jets. Okay? Denver's toughest game is against the Jags, but they're playing the Chargers at home, and they're playing the Chiefs without Mahomes. So, even if I give this game to the Jags, Denver finishes possibly 14-3. Worst case scenario, they lose to the Chiefs on Christmas, and all of a sudden, they're the 2 seed, and Jacksonville's the 1 seed. But with Mahomes being out, I think Denver wins that game, and I don't know if Jacksonville's good enough to beat Denver. I really don't think so. So, I'm gonna say Denver beats Jacksonville. Obviously, I'm biased, but we just beat Green Bay, and I think Green Bay is better than Jacksonville's. So, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna pick Denver to win every game for the rest of the year. I don't care if it's a playoff game, if it's a Super Bowl, or if it's Jacksonville. And I don't mean that like as a fan. I mean that as like a bettor. Like Denver would have every playoff game in Denver. I mean, that is going to be a crazy home field advantage. And I just don't know anyone else playing better football all around. I mean, the Texans are a hot team right now, but their offense is whatever. We just saw Bo Nix throw the ball all over the field on a team that, since Jeff Hafley became the defensive coordinator for Green Bay, has never given up 4 touchdown passes to a quarterback. Denver's just operating on another level right now. Now, the Houston Texans are doing that as well, and that's why they're going to beat the Raiders, no problem. And then Week 17, Houston is playing against the Chargers. This is a massive game. Now, let's say the Texans win that game, and then Week 18 they play the Colts. So let's say the Texans win that one. They would be the 3 seed. Jacksonville would be the 6 because they didn't win their division. 12-5 is a good record, but they didn't win their division. Buffalo's 13-4, and that was with making them win out. Now, if Buffalo, say, loses to Philly, they're the 5 seed. If they win, they're the 5 seed. You know what I mean? Nothing changes for Buffalo as long as they beat the Jets and they beat the Browns. New England, nothing changes for them if they lose to the Ravens this week. If they beat the Ravens, nothing changes as well. So let me put it this way. Whether Buffalo goes 3-0 or Buffalo goes 2-1 in their final 3, and whether New England goes 3-0 or they go 2-1, losing to the Ravens, they're the 2 and Buffalo's the 5. So unless you have a major upset happening, which would require Cleveland beating Buffalo or the Jets beating Buffalo, or would require Miami beating the Patriots, or would require the Jets beating the Patriots. Unless you have one of those happening, the Eagles-Bills game is meaningless, and so is the Ravens-Patriots game. They're completely meaningless in the grand scheme of things, unless you have one of those major upsets. I don't. So yeah, the Patriots are going to be the 2, and Buffalo is going to be the 5, assuming Denver doesn't lose to a Mahomes-less Chiefs team, and they split the series with the Chargers in Denver Week 18, which would mean this game against Jacksonville would also be meaningless. Even if they lose it, they still are the 1 seed if they win those 2 games. So we have a lot of games that on the outside, they look very meaningful. Jacksonville, Denver, that game matters. It does if Denver loses to the Chiefs Week 17, or they lose to the Chargers at home after nearly beating them on the road. I think they split. They'll also be in their throwback uniforms Week 18. But if one of those doesn't happen, like, this game also becomes meaningless. So Denver is the 1, Patriots are the 2, Buffalo's the 5, and Jacksonville becomes a 3 seed. Now, Jacksonville and Houston is where things actually change. That does change dramatically. Okay? Let's say Denver wins this week, but Jacksonville wins against the Colts and wins against the Titans. They would be the 6 seed. Okay? And that's with Houston beating the Raiders. That's happening. Okay? Week 17, they're playing the Chargers. We had them winning. And then we had them beating the Colts week 18. But if Houston loses one of those games, let's say week 17 to the Chargers, all of a sudden Houston becomes the 7 and Jacksonville becomes the 3. If Houston beats the Chargers become the 7 and Houston becomes the 3. And I said this like week 4. I said week 17, that Chargers-Texans game is going to be massive. And I don't know if you're going to find a game more massive than either being the 3 seed or being the 7 seed and being the last team in. Because let me tell you something. Whoever loses this game, week 17, is playing New England. If Houston does it, they're playing New England. That's rough. All right? And I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm cheering for the Texans to win this week. Because Denver being a 1 seed, playing the lowest remaining seed, would play the Texans if they beat New England. Now, if the Chargers lose, Denver would be playing the Chargers if they beat the Patriots. I don't think they would, but they may. I don't know. I mean, Harbaugh in the playoffs, maybe they would. Maybe they would win. Whatever. I don't care, because if they win, I would love to play the Chargers in the first round in the divisional round. Okay? And then you're going to have Buffalo playing the Steelers, and then you get Jacksonville playing the Texans. Take a snapshot, because this is the playoffs right here, or this is the playoffs. It's either Texans playing the Patriots, or Houston wins and the Chargers play the Patriots. Bronco fans should be cheering for the Texans. Buffalo's divisional loss to the Finns hurts them in a tiebreaker with New England. Absolutely. What's Pittsburgh's best playoff lock if we lose to the Ravens week 18? All right. If they lose, Pittsburgh loses to the Ravens week 18. Okay. Week 16, Pittsburgh's playing the Lions. If the Lions win that game, okay. Week 17, Pittsburgh beats Cleveland. Okay. Pittsburgh would still be the 4th seed, but for the Ravens, let's say they beat New England, and the Ravens, not only do they beat New England, but Green Bay beats them week 17. Let's say they beat Green Bay, and let's say Pittsburgh beats them week 18. So here's the deal, and this is the most realistic case. If Detroit wins next week and the Patriots lose to the Ravens, so Ravens win, Steelers lose week 16. And then week 17, the Steelers beat the Browns, and the Ravens beat the Packers. It still doesn't matter as long as the Steelers beat the Ravens week 18. If the Steelers lose to the Ravens are going to be the 4 seed. And let's not complicate it. That means the Ravens win out. They beat Green Bay, they beat the Patriots, and they beat the Steelers. Can they do that? Yeah. Can they? Yeah. Have they earned that trust? No. They haven't. And for the Steelers, if week 16 they beat the Lions, it doesn't matter. If they lose, like here, that's the thing. This is another game where it's like Steeler fans are probably like, this is massive. The playoff implications are massive. It doesn't change anything. The Steelers can win against the Lions. If the Ravens win out, the Steelers beating the Lions does nothing. It doesn't change anything. So the Lions winning this game doesn't matter. Because as long as the Steelers beat the Browns and the Ravens beat the Packers week 17, it's going to be whoever wins week 18. Now, let's say week 17, the Packers at home, which is no. When is no, they're playing the Bears this week. Week 17, let's say the Packers though. They beat the Ravens week 17. And let's say the Ravens win. You see what I mean? The Ravens get in. So, in the same way that the Packers-Ravens game doesn't matter, the Lions-Steelers game doesn't matter. Unless, let me try one more thing. Yes, here's the only way it does matter. If the Steelers beat the Lions this week and the Steelers beat the Browns next week, and the Ravens lose to the Packers week 17, the Ravens could win week 18 and the Steelers would still be the 4 seed. But that's the only scenario where it makes a big difference, right? So what I would say to you is like, if you wanted to figure out what's the fastest way to clinch, all you have to do is beat the Lions this week. And even if the Ravens get the win this week against New England, week 17, you guys play the Browns. And if the Ravens lose to Green Bay, week 18, you guys aren't playing your starters because no matter what happens, the Steelers are going to be the division winner. Now, one other thing to keep in mind is week 16, the Ravens play the Patriots. And if the Patriots get that win and the Ravens beat Green Bay, and the Steelers beat the Lions, and the Steelers beat the Browns, the Steelers would also be in no matter what. So if the Ravens lose to New England on Sunday and the Steelers beat the Lions, the only way for the Ravens to get into the playoffs would be if the Steelers lose to the Browns. Because let's give the Browns a loss, and then week 18 we'll give the Ravens the win. The Ravens get in. That's it. This week, if the Patriots beat the Ravens and the Lions lose to the Steelers, the only path for the Ravens to win the division would be for the Steelers to drop and lose to the Cleveland Browns. If the Steelers win that game, the Steelers are in, and week 18 means nothing. And the Patriots beating the Ravens is a very likely thing to happen. The Ravens win that game, and the Steelers lose to the Lions. In week 17, the Ravens beat Green Bay, and the Steelers beat Cleveland. Then it all comes down to who wins this final week 18 game. But Green Bay, if they win that game, week 17, this Ravens game still matters. One more time. If the Lions beat the Steelers and the Ravens beat the Patriots, week 17, Cleveland beats the Steelers beat the Browns and the Packers beat the Ravens, then the winner would come down to week 18. And if week 17, the Ravens won. Wow. So here's the simplest way to say it, Willie. If the Lions beat the Steelers and the Ravens beat the Patriots, the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Browns, the Packers beat the Ravens. Yeah. Okay. I mean, so what I'm saying is that if the Ravens beat New England and the Steelers lose to the Lions, week 17, it doesn't matter whether or not the Ravens or the Packers win. Even with the Steelers beating the Browns, this game becomes irrelevant. The winner will be who wins this game. So the only way to make the game between the Packers and the Ravens mean nothing at all is if the Steelers lose to the Lions and the Ravens beat the Patriots. If the Steelers beat the Lions or the Patriots beat the Ravens, then all of a sudden, week 17, this Packer game, all of a sudden, it matters now because the Packers win that game, and then the Ravens game is meaningless. And even if the Packers beat the Ravens week 17 and Cleveland loses, Cleveland beats the Steelers, then week 18, the winner would still come down to this game. So the biggest thing really is if the Ravens beat New England, you guys have to beat the Lions. If you guys are able to beat the Lions and the Ravens beat the Patriots, let's see, Green Bay wins. Yeah. Okay. If you guys were to beat the Lions and the Ravens were to lose, if you guys beat the Lions and the Ravens beat the Patriots, week 17, Green Bay, if they beat the Ravens and you guys beat the Browns, this game changes nothing at all. So that would mean the only way for the Ravens to get into the playoffs if the Steelers beat the Lions. Forget about the Ravens. If the Steelers beat the Lions, forget about the Ravens for a second. If the Steelers beat the Lions and they beat the Browns next week and the Packers win against Baltimore, the season ends right there for the Ravens. No, actually. Yeah, there. So Baltimore, if they lose to New England and the Steelers pull off the upset, the only way for the Ravens to make the postseason is if you guys lose to Cleveland. If you beat Cleveland, the Ravens could win out and it wouldn't even. No, actually there. If the Ravens lose to the Patriots and the Steelers beat the Lions, then the Ravens could win out and it wouldn't matter as long as you beat Cleveland. And the easiest way to say that is the Steelers will win their division if they win 2 of their final 3 games. It's either gotta be, I mean, unless the Ravens lose. Let's see, if the Steelers win any 2 of their final 3, they're in. Let's say they lose to the Ravens week 18 and they lose to the Lions week 16, so they go 1-3. But let's say the Ravens also go 1-3, the Patriots beat them and Green Bay beats them. Then you're still in. So the Steelers win 2 of their remaining 3. It doesn't matter what the Ravens do. The Ravens could win out. Well, technically, yeah, they could win 2 of their final 3. No, they could win out. They could beat the Steelers, they could beat the Packers, and they could beat the Patriots, and it still wouldn't matter if Cleveland beats the Patriots. I mean, if the Steelers are able to win 2 games, if they beat the Lions and they beat the Browns, then the Ravens are eliminated, even if they win out. But if the Ravens lose to the Patriots, then all of a sudden, I would say the only thing if I were a fan of the Steelers, I would just say, if we win 2 of our final 3, we're in the playoffs. If the Ravens lose to Green Bay and they don't win out, let's say they beat the Patriots, but they lose week 17 to Green Bay, and they go and beat the Steelers. So we have them winning 2 of their remaining 3, with their only loss being against Green Bay. And let's also have the Steelers going and winning 2 of their final 3. The Steelers are in. There's only one path for the Ravens, and it's the Steelers losing 2 of their remaining 3. Now, the scary thing for a Steelers fan is that they're playing the Lions and they're playing the Ravens. Now, if the Ravens win against the Steelers and you guys lose to the Lions, and the Ravens, now we don't have to look at week 18 because the Ravens play the Steelers, but then the Ravens get into a situation where if they beat Green Bay and they lose to the Patriots, they're still in. So if the Ravens and the Steelers both go 2-1 in their final 3, but the Ravens win week 18, then the Ravens would get in. And unfortunately for Pittsburgh fans, losing to the Lions and the Ravens is not that far-fetched. What you guys should be banking on is the Patriots getting the win over the Ravens. But even if they do, like we said, the Ravens only have to go 2-1. They can lose to New England, and if the Lions beat the Steelers, it really means nothing if the Ravens beat Green Bay. Because even with you beating the Browns week 18, the Ravens win and they're in. And I got to say, if you're asking me what I think is going to happen, I think week 18 is going to be a win and you're in situation for the Ravens and Steelers. I think the Lions are going to win at home. I think the Patriots have a good chance of beating the Ravens. I think week 17 you're going to beat the Browns, and I think the Packers are – I don't know, but I think the Ravens could beat the Packers. If the Packers win that game, yeah, I mean, that's crazy to think. I think your best path to the playoffs is the Patriots and the Packers beating the Ravens. And then you guys can lose to the Ravens week 18. And you can lose to the Lions this week. And as long as you don't lose to the Browns, you're in. So it seems complicated, but it's really not. And I think that made it pretty clear. If Steelers get the 4 seed, then they'd have to play the Bills in the first round when we just got waxed by the Bills. Yeah, because the 4 seed plays the 5. Now, Buffalo, if Buffalo loses to the Eagles, and Buffalo and Jacksonville are both 12-5, Buffalo's still the 5 seed. And Jacksonville's not. I mean, and if the Colts beat Jacksonville and Jacksonville, they're still the 6 seed. So like the Bills are locked in as the 5 seed. And with the way the AFC North is, just be prepared. Like Bills and Steelers it's either Bills versus Steelers or Bills versus Ravens. Those are like 2 of the most sure things, right? And then the winner of Week 17's Houston in Chargers game is going to play New England. Whoa, but if the Chargers win in Jacksonville, loses to the Colts, Jacksonville would become the 7 seed. And then Houston becomes the 3 seed. And then we get another rematch of Houston in the Chargers. Now let's see. If the Texans win, then it would be Jacksonville playing Houston. The Chargers win. The Chargers play Houston. So if Jacksonville loses to Denver and they lose one of their remaining 2, this one being in Indianapolis, if Jacksonville loses, then whoever wins the Chargers-Houston game, if Houston wins, Jacksonville plays Houston. If the Chargers win, the Chargers play Houston. If Houston wins, Jacksonville plays Houston. If the Chargers win, then they would play Houston. Jacksonville would play New England. And Jacksonville would be the 7. But if Jacksonville wins against Houston, then Houston's playing New England, Jacksonville's playing the Chargers. If it's crazy, the Colts control who Jacksonville plays, because if the Colts win, if Denver beats Jacksonville week 16 and the Colts beat Jacksonville week 17, they control who Jacksonville plays in the first round. Because look, Jacksonville plays New England or Jacksonville plays the Chargers. It changes dramatically. Jacksonville loses their next 2 games and they win week 18. They're looking at playing as the 3 seed against the Chargers at home. If Jacksonville wins against Denver and they win against the Colts and they win against Tennessee, they win all 3 of those games. They're 13-4 and they're still the 3 seed. But if Houston wins out, if Jacksonville and Houston both win out, Houston is the 5 seed, Jacksonville's the 3. If Denver beats Jacksonville, they go to the 6 seed. Houston becomes the division winner. And Jacksonville plays Houston. If the this is funny. Jacksonville, if they win out and the Houston Texans win out, all right, then Jacksonville would play Buffalo in the first round. If they lose to Denver and win the rest of their games, they play Houston. Who would you rather play in the first round of the playoffs, the Houston Texans or the Buffalo Bills? Because if Jacksonville wins out, they're looking at playing the Buffalo Bills. How do you get Houston as the 5 seed? They won their remaining games. They beat the Raiders, they beat the Chargers, and they beat the Colts. If they lose one of their games, like let's say they lose to the Chargers, then they would become the 7 seed. And Buffalo is the 5. And all they would have to do is lose one game. If Buffalo wins out all of their games, they're the 5 seed. If they lose to the Eagles, they would still be the 5 seed at 12-5. If the Texans lost to the Chargers. Give me Houston. I don't know, man. That defense is rough. So Houston winning out then you want Houston to win out if you want to play Houston as a Steelers fan. Then Jacksonville would play Buffalo. And that's what I'm saying. Like Jacksonville is probably thinking like, man, we want to win out. We want to win out. I don't know. I mean, you lose and you play Houston, a team a team you play twice a year. You win. Sure, you get to host a game against Buffalo, against Josh Allen. Now, what would it take for the Chargers to miss the playoffs? Well, let's say the Cowboys beat them. Let's say the Texans beat them and the Broncos beat them. They're still in the playoffs. They could lose the rest of their games and they're in the playoffs unless the Colts beat Jacksonville, the Colts beat the 49ers, or the Niners win, but the Colts beat the Texans. Then the Colts become the 7 seed. They have the tiebreaker over the Chargers. So if it came down to that, then the 1:00 game would be the Colts and the Texans. The Colts win that game, and Colts fans would be watching because they would be watching the Broncos game, because if the Broncos beat the Chargers, the Colts would be granted a ticket to the playoffs. If the Chargers won that game, the Chargers would become an 11-win team. They would get in. If the Broncos win, they would have 10 wins, and so would the Chargers, but Colts have the tiebreaker. So the Colts would get in their first round. Phillip Rivers would be going to New England to play the Patriots. And running the football travels well in January. I'll just say that. And you would have 3 teams from the AFC South in the playoffs. The Colts probably would lose right to the Patriots. Houston going to Jacksonville, I think Jacksonville probably wins, and then I think Buffalo would win, and then we would have to play Buffalo in the divisional round. If the Chargers won just one of these games, let's say the Texans won. I want there to be a team like who would I want to play? The Chargers. So if the Chargers beat the Cowboys, lose to the Texans, and the Broncos beat the Chargers week 18, we would have the Chargers at the 7. So then if the Chargers beat New England, we would get to play the Chargers. If Jacksonville could somehow not win their division, let's say the Broncos beat them, now Jacksonville's the 6th seed, and now we have options like, okay, if the Chargers or the Jacksonville Jaguars win, we get to play them in Denver in the divisional round, which is what I would want to do. If the Patriots win, they would play the second lowest remaining seed. So you would have, if Jacksonville wins, Jacksonville plays Denver in the divisional round, and then the Patriots would play the winner of the Bills and Steelers, regardless of who it is. So what does this scenario require? It would require Denver winning their remaining games, well, there is a scenario where Jacksonville becomes the 7 seed and the Chargers become the 5. If the Chargers win against the Cowboys, lose to the Texans, but beat the Broncos, as long as the Broncos beat the Jaguars, and the Jaguars basically lose their next 2 football games, but they win against the Titans, Jacksonville becomes the 7 seed. Buffalo becomes the 6, and the Chargers would become the 5, winning 2 of their remaining 3, beating Dallas, losing to the Texans, and beating the Broncos. And I wonder if Denver would do that because, look, Denver wins that game. The Chargers are the 7, Jacksonville's the 6, Buffalo's the 5. So whether Denver beats the Chargers or not changes the playoffs. So if we sit our starters, let the Chargers win, we go, hey, let's let Jacksonville be the 7 so that if they beat the Patriots, we get to play the Jaguars. Because if we win this game, actually it wouldn't matter. I would be happy to play the Chargers or the Jaguars. And the only way we would play the Steelers is if the Patriots, Texans, and Steelers all won. Then the Broncos would play the Steelers and the Patriots would play the Texans. Yeah, and even if Denver loses to the Jaguars, nothing changes for them unless they lose to the Chargers as well, or the Chiefs losing 2 of their last 3. If the Patriots lose, no, that's the Patriots winning out. So the Patriots beat the Ravens, the Patriots beat the Jets, and the Patriots beat the Dolphins, Broncos lose to okay, there it is. So Denver loses to Jacksonville. Then all of a sudden they become the 2 seed. So Denver, even if they lost to Jacksonville, as long as they won week 18, they're in. They just can't lose 2 of their last 3. They have to win 2 of their last 3, and they would clinch the 1st seed, meaning if they win against Jacksonville, week 17 on Christmas Day, Denver would be the first team in the NFL that would clinch a first-round bye with a win against the Chiefs. I don't know what they would do week 18, but if they decided to sit their starters, you would have 1 week 17 done. Week 18, that's 1 week of time off. 2 weeks of time off, because then there's a wild card. 3 weeks of time off. You would have essentially, if you rested your starters week 18, you would have 21 days of off time for the players. I don't know if that's good. I don't know. I really don't know if that's a good thing. If we draw Houston, who do the Bills play first round? If the Steelers draw Houston, which that required Houston losing 2 of their last 3. So Houston, Jacksonville wins that game. Houston, where are they at? Win. There we go. So that's how Houston got to a 7. And we had Jacksonville. Houston as a 3. I think it was the Colts game. If the Colts beat where was Houston? Houston. Let's see. How did Houston became the 5 seed? Because how did they get to a 3? They got to a 3 because the Patriots finished 14-3 by winning out. The 3 seed was the Texans, who became the 4. Steelers don't change. The Chargers are 12-5. So the Chargers winning Chargers are 12-5. Houston's 12-5. The Broncos beating no, that puts Buffalo as the 5. But if Buffalo also I don't remember how Houston got to the 5. Was it Houston was the 5 seed? Well, did the no, that didn't do it. I don't know. How did Houston become the 5 seed? Houston, Denver, Chargers. And then that game's a variable. That one doesn't matter. It's that Jacksonville wins. Yeah, I don't see how. Most likely, even if the Eagles were to lose, or the Bills were to lose. Yeah, if the Bills lost to the Eagles, the Chargers become the 5 seed. There it is. But if the Texans beat, no, then it's Bills. So week 17, if Houston wins against the Chargers, you're looking at playing Buffalo. If the Chargers win, you're looking at playing the Chargers. I think that'd be a perfect scenario for Rodgers to go out and retire because of that Hackett, Sean Payton beef. Yeah, that would be crazy. I'm fine with the Chargers as well. I'm telling you, Broncos versus Steelers would probably be the highlight playoff game for Rodgers' playoff career because Hackett versus Payton beef, that would strengthen. Oh, and they would. Oh, it was Houston winning out. So Houston winning. So here I have them winning out, but they're not the 5 seed. I have Jacksonville winning 2 of their last 3. I have the Chargers winning 2 of their last, or losing losing 2 of their last 3. So we got, see if the Patriots lose and win those 2. No, I don't see it because I have the Texans winning out and they're still the 3 seed. But if Buffalo wins out and get to 13 wins, you would need Buffalo to lose twice. And then you would need Houston to lose their division. Then Houston would play Jacksonville. There would be the 6th seed. But let's give Buffalo that win. Houston's the 7. Yeah, even with Houston winning out, I can't find out how to put, say, Jacksonville loses to the Colts and lose to the Titans. Yeah. If I can't even figure out how to put them there, then let's just say, let's clear it for a second. This is the way it is now. Let's say Denver wins their next 2 in this game. Then we got Houston winning out. We have the Chargers beating the Cowboys. We have Jacksonville winning against the Colts and Titans. And we have Buffalo beating the Jets and Buffalo losing to the, I think Buffalo is going to beat the Eagles. And then week 16, we have Buffalo winning out. Buffalo wins out. Then this is what you would get. Assuming the Steelers win the division, this is how it shakes out. Denver wins 2 of their remaining 3 games. Even if they lost to Jacksonville, it wouldn't matter. The only thing that would change is the playoff seeding for Jacksonville. But if Houston loses to the Chargers, then if Jacksonville wins, they would play the Chargers. But if the Chargers lose to the Cowboys, it changes nothing. But if Philly beats the Bills, if Philly beats the Bills, so if Jacksonville wins out, but Philadelphia loses to the Bills, and the Bills beat the other two opponents that they play that are really bad, the Browns and the Jets, I believe it was. Yeah, the Browns and the Jets. Then Jacksonville would play Buffalo. So the Bills would have to win out to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if Denver beats Jacksonville and they win out the rest of their games, and so do the Bills, then you're looking at the Texans being the 7 seed. And that's why you want, but that's crazy. What's crazy is like, if the Chargers win, the Texans are the 7 seed. But if the Chargers lose and the Texans win, then they become the 3 seed. The Chargers become the 7. And they're a less frightening team. So I don't know if there's a game more important, week 17, than the Texans getting the win on the road against the Chargers. Otherwise, you're looking at the Texans falling to a 7 seed. And I think they're one of the best teams in the AFC right now. So we're cheering for the Texans. Jacksonville, if they win out, like if the Texans and the Jags both win week 17, week 18, then whether or not Jacksonville wins this game changes nothing if Denver wins their next 2 games. The only thing that changes is who's the 3 and who's the 6, but the matchup stays the same unless the Eagles beat the Bills. And then there's a wrench thrown in everything if Jacksonville wins. And there you go. That's your consolation prize. You get to play the Bills in the first round. I want Bills and Jags playing each other because Jags will blow out the Bills. Wow. I'm marking that. Timestamp that. That's a hell of a prediction. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a hell of a ride. I feel like the playoff picture has become a lot more clear. Still a ton of different scenarios, but overall, I think we all know what we're going to get. We're going to get the Texans, Bills, Chargers, Patriots, Jaguars, Steelers, and Broncos. Can't say the same for the NFC, which is a lot different. So stay tuned. I'll keep you up to date. I hope you won your fantasy. A lot of fantasy football videos coming up shortly. So maybe I'll see you guys over there. But as always, this one's for Bill. I'll see you guys on the next stream. See ya!